All right, I think I've got Amy and Shwanika here.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am well. Again, I apologize for having this call again, but I'm sure Nora must have explained sort of why I need to sort of have a follow-up interview.
I totally get how these things, we just roll with the punches.
Okay, great. So, I thought I'd sort of localize the news a little bit more. I'm curious to learn how the sort of storefront market for Madison Reed works in San Francisco as opposed to other cities it's in. Maybe we can start with labor costs. How do you think that has fared for you with the San Francisco locations?
I think it's been great. I think, so here's the first thing, like, I just want to frame out is important across the board is just like what our folks are compensated in regions and how the market is bifurcated. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the average colorist, and I think Nora was going to get you some of this data, is got about $20,000+ in debt coming out of cosmetology school. I don't know if you know that every state requires a cosmetologist to be licensed. So you can't just like do someone's hair, right? You have to have a license. And they have $20,000+ in debt. And on average, they're in the U.S. they're going to make $9 to $10 an hour. Like that's the startling truth. In our world, our folks. So we have two employees. That one is our call center, is all Bay Area located. And those are certified licensed colorists, and we compensate them on a hourly and commission basis. And they're somewhere between 20 at the low end and 28 at the high end. So we're more than double what is going on in the market. And then the colorists that are actually working in our color bars are somewhere between 23, and they can get up to 30 if they're commission based as well. And they get tips and blah, blah, blah. So we feel like we're, there's a mission here for me. And this is one of the things that get lost in stories all the time. People want to talk about omnichannel and retail, and that's all great because it's important in our business. But there is an underlying story, which is this company is going to change these colorist lives. That is a mission for this. And we are San Francisco homegrown. We have no, even though the costs are more expensive, because everybody knows that, and even though the rents are more expensive both on the retail and our headquarters, and even though those things happen, we're staying here. I'm a San Franciscan, and we are going to create a beauty company like no one's ever seen with its headquarters in San Francisco, and we're proud of that.
Got it. In terms of actually finding labor in San Francisco, do you find it
not been hard? Nope, not been
hard.
We have a very, very sophisticated recruiting engine that we've built. It took us time. Most of the people come to us through the schools that they go to, or referrals from somebody who works for us who tells a friend. But it has not been an issue for us to recruit. I think this is an industry that's shifting and changing. And so I think, and again, sometimes it's better to be lucky than smart. But, I think we hit this at a time where many of these people, so that what's happening in the industry in general is that most colorists have to rent a chair from a salon, right? And they are, they are consultants, and they have to have their own book of business, buy their own tools, buy their own product. And I think if you're coming out of cosmetology school, you can't afford that. And I think that's a macro change in salons. And so I think we offer an amazing opportunity to be compensated well, have a really amazing career path, and I could talk about that, and options. And then, I believe, we're not perfect, that's for sure. We're learning every day, but I think it's a culture that embraces people and their artistry.
Got it. Could you elaborate on how you could help them have an amazing career path?
Sure. So basically historically colorists are behind the chair, right?
Okay.
And there are some people who love to be behind the chair. There are some people who maybe been behind the chair for 15 years, and they just want to learn different skills. So we have opportunities in our call center. You're learning very state-of-the-art technology. You're learning a different set of skills. We have people who go back and forth between working in our color bars and wanting to pick up more hours on our call center for chat, email, or phone. We have in the color bars themselves, we have a management track, assistant manager, GMs, general managers, district managers, and then across all the board of that, we have formulation. So the people don't believe me when I say this, but the people that are very involved with formulating all of our products came out of our call center because they were colorists and they knew more than anybody else did when we started the company. And now they're doing education in R&D, and now we've grown a whole education program where we have to go out and train all of the colorists before the color bar opens. Some of that is always going to be in person. Some of that is being basically automated, with an element, a learning management system. And certainly as we franchise, there's going to be a whole bunch of career opportunities. We have colorists that come up and say to me, can I buy a franchise? And, we have to make sure this is honest, that they can afford it. And we have to make sure that we're not setting them up for a problem financially, right? Like that feels like my obligation. But, we're they may have the means through family. They may have, an opportunity that somebody wants to back them. But this is a big deal, and we've gone behind, under the radar screen here with this part of who we are, and I think it's going to surprise people when we get to that tipping point.
Got it. And so to sort of come back to the fact that most hair colorists, at least in the traditional sense, have been very independent as entrepreneurs, right? They run chairs in salons. Do you think that it will be easy? Who would be the ideal franchisee for you? I guess that's the question.
Yeah. The ideal franchisee for us is frankly probably not a salon owner, because we are the own salon. And, we have built technology. There's a certain way that we do the work that we do. We use our product. And we have a menu of services that we're offering, which is not, there are the top 5% of salons are going to do the $400, highlights with roots and mixed colors. Remember, we're really doing your roots. This is all about convenience. It's all about a great product with the lowest chemical profile and affordability. That is who we are speaking to, that busy woman, right? And so a salon owner knows how to come into this and run a salon. And that's not going to be successful for them. The other side of it, maybe some of our colorists who have worked for us who know what we are could be very interesting people. But I think the perfect person is probably somebody who's either franchised other concepts previously, has scaled those, or an entrepreneur that may want to do this. And we think that the majority of these will be sold in what is called 3-packs. So getting a region and putting 3 in. So, we are not, I don't say this in any boisterous way. I really don't. But I am not worried that I'm not worried that we're not going to have people who want to buy franchises. What I worry about is 2 things. One is our obligation to pick people that will be successful. Because for these people, it's their money, right? And I take that seriously. And then the second thing is the quality. And so, the brand is named after my daughter. Everybody that works at the company, and truly it's not about my daughter, it's metaphorically about empowering women. And I think that, for us, the important thing is that we deliver whether you walk into a franchise store in Southern California or walk into our San Francisco store in Hayes Valley, it should be no different for any customer in the same relationship. And so we have to work on quality and training and understanding and, and so when that goes up on the door and it says Madison Reed, there's a standard that you believe as a customer that you're going to get regardless of location, regardless if you want to get the box online. Right? Like that's the other part that people don't understand about our business. The same color that comes to you in your home is the same color we're using. And we don't care whether you color in our color bars. We want to help you. We don't care if you buy it also. And we don't care if you want it online at home. We just want to give you the best product and meet you where you are.
Got it. So that's something interesting that you mentioned about some of the worries, the second part about being making sure that the brand is set forth the way you would want. But I guess franchising is a way to sort of maintain the quality control, correct?
Yes. We will also open. Franchising does not mean we are not going to open more of our own corporate stores. So the franchise.
You want to do 100, right?
Yeah, I would say 100 to 125, let's say, over the next 3 years. We're already, we'll end this year, like, I think at 12, and then we will do 15 to 20 next year. So we're starting to be able to really pick it up. Right now we're opening one a month, and then there'll be a time they're going to open one every Friday, right? And so we know some regions that are better for us to have corporate stores. We are franchising other parts of the country. And, and then the other thing is we're standing up a training center. We're in a deep discovery right now of the right place to stand up a training center where all the franchisees will go and their team members will go and all of our team members will go. And they will go through extensive training about the technical nuance of the product, about the technology, because remember, they're using our technology. But in addition to that, they're going to be trained on the Madison Reed way of hospitality.
Mm. Do you perceive franchising fees to go up anytime, or do you think this is going to be set for a few years?
Yeah, you have to file something called an SDD on a yearly basis. It's a disclosure document, and you have to set your pricing, and then you don't change your pricing. And I don't I'm not interested in gouging people. Like, this is an amazing concept. I want the franchisees to make a ton of money. I want them to love what they do and feel proud. This isn't about, like, we're going to just, get a price and then keep rising it because we can. That's just not how we do business at Madison Reed.
Got it. You mentioned, coming back to San Francisco, that you sort of sourced some of your colorists from schools. Can you mention or name some local schools where you've gotten them from, or just California schools in general?
Yeah, you know what? I can't, and I don't want to just take you down the path because I don't know. I think there's one of Ada's, but what we can do is right after this, I'll get you the list of schools that we actively recruit from. We literally go to job fairs. We literally go to the schools at graduation and color somebody's hair in front of them. Like, it is a very extensive recruiting process that we do, but Nora will get you the name.
Yeah, I'll get that for you.
Got it. And one more last question for you, Amy. What do you make of, I know you're in Hayes Valley, which doesn't see a lot of this, but just San Francisco's, the state of the streets in San Francisco, is that affecting your particular stores in any way?
No.
What about the issue of homelessness?
Yeah, so, I can't, we're not a political organization, so anything you hear from me now goes under the caveat of speaking as an entrepreneur and speaking from being a San Franciscan. I was on Glide's board for 23 years, right? So, I have some, I care, right? And so the issue is it has not affected our business. We are not selecting, and I want people to hear this. We don't go to a region in San Francisco and say, oh, there's so many homeless people, we can't put something in here, right? Like, I feel like commerce can change the opportunities, right? Like, I feel like one of the things that we all need to invest in is how do we as entrepreneurs help solve the problem? When we moved to Shotwell Street between 18th and 19th, we've done a lot in the block, like as citizens, there are, we planted huge planters across the street where a lot of tents were that had, like flowers and cactus and vegetable. Like, we paid for that. Our, one of our values is giving back. So I don't want our people to, you can't hide from this. And we have to be able to train people to have respect and dignity. And, I don't know how the problem gets solved. So that's, if I did, what I know is that we will be supportive of whatever that is. And this company is going to participate in some way to make it better, because it's not right.
Got it. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think it's great. Can you just tell me a little bit, like, when's the article going to run? Is it going to just be online? Is it going to be
this weekend? It might run on Sunday, but I'll have to get back to you by end of day today. For the exact day, it's going to be in print and online. And just to confirm, are you currently a resident of San Francisco too?
Yeah, I live in Noe Valley.
Amy, sorry.
Yeah, I live in Noe Valley, and I'm a proud San Franciscan. I want that in the article. A lot of people. I want to be super clear about this, like very clear. Like, it would cost us less to not be in San Francisco. Like, I'm now being solicited from other places, like, move. It's less expensive labor. You don't have to pay this tax. The real estate's different, right? Like, financially, there are lots of appeal, but I want to be in the article crystal clear. This has been homegrown and made in San Francisco. This company is proud of being a San Franciscan company, and we are going to stay put to be involved in helping the city continue to be great.
And one quick thing, Shawanda, is that the previous office was in Soma, and Amy moved the company to the Mission. So that was like a conscious choice to move to the Mission.
And everybody thought I was crazy, and, it's sort of like, between 18th and 19th have you lost your mind? And my point about this is, no, actually, if we talk about internally what the team members' experience is, and we take a blind eye to what's happening, we're not authentically transparent. So, like, we're in San Francisco in the glory and the beautiful nature of it and the things that are challenging, and we're staying put.
Got it. So because you brought it up, but that's interesting that you put your money where your mouth is, having switched headquarters from Soma to Mission, but did that also have anything to do with rent?
No, I mean, so first of all, we had to triple our size, okay? So, but we weren't, how do I say this? I don't want to be, I don't want to be disparaging to any neighborhood, because I love all of San Francisco, okay?
Yeah.
So please don't take what I'm going to say next and twist it around, or I'll be really mad at you. But, here's the thing is, we have choices to go to other places in San Francisco, like down by Levi's Plaza and Jackson Square and, other places where it's not as much homeless and it's not as much immigrant, right? We had choices. We had to have a huge office, and we made a choice, a conscious choice. In fact, we have retail there. We have retail on Shotwell between 18th and 19th, and we have lots of women that come and get their hair colored on that block, right? And we did that for a reason, right? We're in the Mission. We're in the mix. We have deep respect for the history of the Mission. We also, see that we have to be part of continuing to make it great. So that was not unconscious.
Got it. Great. Anything else you wanted to add?
That's it. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
I appreciate your time and your thoughts on these matters too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care. Bye.